All right, guys, we're starting a new thing on the channel I want to do more often. It's going to be just NBA news and notes, stories and things that I find really interesting that are going on in the league. Big news stories, just takes on a lot of these different players and stories going on. Before we get into it, please make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. It'll be worth it, I promise. Guys, let's talk about these guys, especially Tyrese Haliburton. All right, so we're like 4 or so games into the season for every team in the league, and there are a few storylines that have really jumped to the top. A few, we're not going to cover everything here, and if I miss something you want me to talk about, let me know in the comments. But the things I want to talk about today, the first thing I want to talk about is Tyrese Haliburton. I believe he went number 12 to Sacramento. And it was honestly, it felt like the steal of the draft as soon as it happened. It's one of those picks that kind of fell to that range. Donovan Mitchell gets picked at 13. I think it was Devin Booker at like 15 or something like that. Tyrese Haliburton getting picked at 12. You could just tell it was like a steal from the moment it happened. And it felt like a perfect fit right when you just started thinking about it, you're like, oh, this could work. I could see that working with De'Aaron Fox and what can happen with that team. And so far this season, we've absolutely seen that. Haliburton has come onto the scene and been phenomenal. He's played so well. I wonder how long they can keep him coming off the bench. For example, his splits right now, he's shooting 56% from the field, 50% from three, and 100% from the line. That's a joke. That's ridiculous. And that's not on like low attempts. He's out there playing big time minutes. So, last game he's playing against the Denver Nuggets, who were without Jamal Murray, to be fair. But they have, everyone's favorite center right now in Nikola Jokic. And Tyrese Haliburton looked like the best player on the floor in crunch time. There was a point where at the end of the game, last game against Denver, where Denver pulls ahead and Tyrese Haliburton looked like the best player on the floor and pulled that game out for them. He hit multiple threes. One of them was a deep three. He guarded Nikola Jokic in the post, created a turnover, then goes full length of the court the other way and rises and scores on the defender in transition. He's got all the tools you want from an NBA player and an NBA guard. He's a guard/wing that can handle. He can run a pick and roll. He's an incredible passer. He can shoot the ball. I mean, that's one of the knocks and probably one of the reasons he dropped and one of those weird things that happens that makes these guys fall. He has kind of a interesting jump shot that's not your typical, Jordan, Kobe form that a lot of the NBA players have, and rightfully so, should emulate. But it's not the same type of form, but it goes in. And in the end, if it goes in, that's all that matters. Joe Ingles on the Utah Jazz shoots like 40-something% from three, and it looks like he's slingshotting it. Nikola Jokic has like a catapult release. But guess what? If these shots go in and you make it work, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you score buckets. And when you're shooting 50% from three, guess what? I don't care how you're shooting it. If it's going in, it's going in. And guess what? These are winning plays. Haliburton is not playing, stat stuff or ball. He's playing defense and offense. He moves the ball on offense. He's not selfish. That ball is moving around. Let's see. Per game, assists for Haliburton. Let's see. All right. See, I'm almost doing a double take. This can't be real. 10.5 points, 5.3 assists for Haliburton. And that's in 27 minutes played. That's bonkers. That's crazy good. And on this level of efficiency, now he's playing, he's coming off the bench. So some of that might be a little bit inflated by playing against second units, but this is bonkers stuff, guys. This guy is showing out to be maybe one of the best players in this draft. We're going to talk about one other guy I really like, but this is the steal of the draft so far this season. He's been phenomenal. Anthony Edwards has been nice in Minnesota. James Wiseman, we're going to talk about, really nice in Golden State. And Haliburton has been just as good. He's been phenomenal. Sacramento found their guy. They're going to have to figure out what to do with their rotation at some point because you need this guy on the floor. 27 minutes per game is not enough. This guy is good enough to be 32 to 36 minutes per game as a starter, helping you win games. It's only a matter of time. All right, the next thing we want to talk about is Markelle Fultz is playing really well, and the Orlando Magic, as I'm making this video, are 4-0. It's my favorite story. I've been rooting for Markelle Fultz since he was in Philly, gets traded to Orlando. We all know the story about how he was in his head, had the yips or something going on, some sort of hand disease, nerve damage thing that they were saying. He's figured it out. Now, They're 4-0, and they've played against teams like Oklahoma City, but they did get a win against the Miami Heat. But they've beaten Washington twice, so this might be a little bit of an inflated record. But I really love what I've seen from Markelle Fultz. This guy is handling the ball. He's playing with confidence. He's a smooth, fluid athlete, and he's assisting like crazy. Last game against Oklahoma City that I watched, he was just dishing the ball. And how he really flourishes is he's a guy that can get to the rim, and then he can either he's a good passer, and you can see that with 10 assists against Oklahoma City. He finds a way to get the open man. A lot of them are he's able to get to the rim because he's got size and athleticism to match. So he gets to the rim and then he dishes off and creates buckets. He's also really lucky to play with Vucevic, who is shooting at a high level from three. And so it's opening things up for Fultz, and he's taking advantage. The best part about it for me is just to see him starting to flourish. I don't know if he's going to be an all-star guard, but he's definitely looking like a starting level high impact point guard, and he's helping the Orlando Magic win. He's got just that perfect size, and there's a reason he was drafted at number 1. So many times you get these guys drafted because of the physical tools, and he's a good 6'3", 6'4". I don't know exactly what he is, but he's got enough size that he can bully smaller guards, and he's athletic enough that he can get past the slower ones. So that's a great combo for someone who runs the point. And so he gets to the rim. He's got like a nice little mid-range pull-up game going. It's not perfect. He's got a lot of little tricks, and he's just going to get better. It's just nice to see Fultz getting confidence, feeling better, making shots and making plays and getting wins. He's playing winning basketball, and that size and athleticism will help him on both ends of the court. It's great, and it makes me happy. That's what it's about, guys. It's about being happy. Finally, the other thing I wanted to talk about that's going really well for the Golden State Warriors, they've had a terrible offseason blow when they lose Klay Thompson, who I think we've kind of seen this season just how valuable he was. He was probably, and I think everyone kind of knew, but he was just not appreciated enough back when the Warriors were the Warriors of, 2016 to 2019 and all those years of dominance that they had. Klay Thompson going down in the offseason was awful. And it really kind of, they're not going to win the title this year. They may figure it out, but one of the reasons they may figure it out is because James Wiseman looks awesome. I loved him in the draft. I was kind of surprised he didn't just go number 1. I know Minnesota has Karl Anthony Towns, but James Wiseman looks every bit the top 3 pick that he was, the number 2 overall pick. He has incredible size. Guys, he has his wingspan is only 3 inches less than Rudy Gobert. It's like a 7'6" wingspan, but he is like thick, tall, strong, athletic. He already looks like he has the body of like, if Joel Embiid was actually fit or in shape, is what James Wiseman's body looks like right now. And he's only going to get just more athletic and strong. And you can just see how he is just dominating inside. One thing that's changing within the NBA right now, teams are needing size. The Lakers won with one of their things, obviously LeBron James and Anthony Davis are incredible and just some of the greatest players on the planet. But one thing that helped them was just having just size you could just overpower opposing teams. And they did that against Miami and other teams in the Western Conference. Just that size created problems. And so having someone like James Wiseman is becoming more and more valuable. You have a guy like that can handle the ball. He's shown he can shoot the ball. Let's see, James Wiseman from 3 this season. This is not going to keep up, but he's shooting 62%. That's a small sample size, but that's a good sign. That's a good sign that you have a guy that is this size in his rookie year, stroking the 3 like that, and the ability to rebound and block shots that he's already shown. He's only going to get better. Learning how to guard the rim is a tough thing to do, and he's going to take a year or 2 to kind of figure that out, but he already shows like the work ethic, the size. He's showing the mentality that you need. He's going to be fantastic. And as the season goes on, and I know it's a crazy shortened season, it might not be enough time for him to kind of develop as much as you'd want, in time for the playoffs. But what he's shown right now, just in terms of raw talent, handle, the shot, size, shot blocking, just work ethic and mentality, competitive, he's got it all. He's going to be fantastic. And if you've got Steph and Wiseman, and, maybe Klay can come back, it's just some rough injuries for him right now. But if he can get healthy and come back, you might see a Warriors team in a year or 2 that might be just as good as they were before, because Wiseman is that good. And the Warriors are going to be better, at least defensively, because they're going to get Draymond back. Draymond's missing games. I like Kelly Oubre a lot. He's just missing shots. He's not going to miss this many outside shots the whole season, so that's going to get better. The Warriors are going to be good. And as James Wiseman gets better, they're going to be scary. And they do have a chance to get in that play-in. And if they're figuring things out at the perfect time, they could be a fun kind of play-in team that maybe can cause some problems in the playoffs. So lots of fun. Guys, those are the stories I like. Let me know in the comments what you think. We did a live stream the other day, and it was fantastic. It went way better than I thought it would. So what I'm thinking we're going to start doing is maybe a live stream, first game of the week, and then 2 games of the week, just regular post games, so that we can do both, because both have their benefits. Both I like, and it helps me out. So that's what we're going to do. Guys, like and subscribe to the channel. I will talk to you later.